All right, welcome back, race fans. So you join me here today on Assetto Corsa Competizione on PC. Now that we got the new downloadable DLC, the latest Challenger Pack DLC, one car I really wanted to try out was the BMW CS. So I thought that was really cool. I love it in race room, so I wanted to try it here. So here we go. We're gonna do this kind of test track at Zolder in the rain in a Mr. Git server. Um, so without spoiling it too much, obviously you've seen the title, so you'll see some shenanigans happen. Obviously, as we go for our warm up, here a couple corners, and you can see it's damp. It's visibly wet on track, but it does dry out. So I'm starting on slick tires. There's my number 672 BMW M4 CS, and we're off and going now to the races. Now we'll look at this here. You can see a couple crashing there that we're going to get past everything there on the outside. Just maintain our line as a blue BMW there is really crunched up already. The number 28 right there. But yeah, going on the outside here. We'll keep this camera for a little bit, and then we'll go to the helicopter view once we get to the incident, which you'll see coming up here. I think it's next lap, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I started 25th on the grid. I just saw this server, public server, and I just wanted because we got two BMWs just losing their grip there, going to the wall. Um, Somebody off on the side there. That is Mr. Git in the yellow BMW right there. But anyway, I found the server, a public server, and I just wanted to go check it out. I've driven this car a few times at some of the other Hungaroring, I think was another race. Just wanted to kind of get a feel for it. Like I said, I love it in race room. It's an amazing car to drive. It's a little bit different, obviously, in ECC, but it's still quite fun. Momentum car, so you got to hold that momentum in the corners. A few parts that are not tunable, which I thought was interesting, but not as tunable as the GT3s, let's say. They obviously don't have the downforce, although you do have a tiny little wing there you see on the back. So Mr. Git is now getting racy with me in his looks like light pink, blue, and yellow BMW. But see, there's tons of traffic. But anyway, I didn't have a chance to set any qualifying time, figure out tire pressures, anything like that. So I just literally jumped into the server, started 25th, and just kind of messing around and just getting a feel for the car. So let's pull up the toggle HUD here, so you can see that. So we're up to 25th right now. It will update just a second once across the line, I think. But you can see the sun's peeking through now and starting to show and dry out the track. You'll see a dry line developing. So let's go to our helicopter cam actually, so that we can see. I always find this an interesting view, with this, because then you can see a lot of what's going on in front and behind. So we'll keep it on this for a while, at least until the incident, and then we'll go back to cinematic cameras or whatever you guys want. So Mr. gets up the inside here. I give him plenty of space here. Gets a little wiggle on, so he has to back out of the throttle, so it allows me to sweep across and take that position back or maintain that position. So getting a feel for the car at this racetrack, I didn't have any practice laps at all, so I'm literally just like driving by, everything else that I know in GT4 and GT3s in this game. I'm trying to figure out gearing for what, trying to figure out how much curb I can take, when I can get on the power, how much brakes I need. I mean, literally just exploratory the whole time. And you'll see the track times drop, the lap times drop like drastically. I think initially just not having any practice in the car and this track and a combination of everything like that, it was like I think I was doing 146s, and towards the end I think 144, 142s. You see that gray BMW tried to rain through the track and safely hit the other guy, and talking about parting the seas or splitting those two cars. Me and Mr. Git did that perfectly. So Mr. Get again is behind me right now. So we're 14 to 15 on the updated time charts on the left there. It's quite close. So I'm thinking I'm not going to defend here, and this is when it happens. You can see right here, I'm off the brakes, some of the throttle, and then he just hits me right there. Hits me again for a good measure to spin me around, and then I tried to get back on. I should have waited for that other driver, the white BMW there, to come through. So that was my bet for him. But although the good thing is he reacted pretty quickly and he was able to go to the left. So there's my incident with Mr. Git. There you go. Right off the bat, but please feel free to stick around because now I started 25th. I got up to what was it, 14th, um, up there, and then now I'm back to 21st. So it's a drive to survive, obviously, in this and figuring everything out. And you see the dry line actually forming really nicely. Somebody stuck there parked on the apex of the corner. I don't know the names on Zolder for this, but this is a really good car track combination. Is this BMW CS M4 or M4 CS, however you want to say it, and Zolder? It's a really good car track combination. So, if you guys have done this race or done something, do me a favor and comment too, and tell me what you guys think about it because I think it's really good. Um, I did one at Olson Park as well, and that is a really good car combination. I couldn't get the replay because for some reason I was in third place most of the race, and then the leaders had to come in together in an incident, and they were off. So I was in first place, uh, and I was about to come across the line for the final lap, or I went across the line for the final lap, and the second to last corner, it just the lobby reset, so I couldn't get the replay. I couldn't get anything like that. But it was quite a good race too. In this BMW CS. So a lot of obviously I think most people kind of knew that this car would be really good on these tight, twisty tracks where momentum is really key. But just trying to find the brake balance, in the car and trying to figure out again how much apex speed you can carry and all that stuff is really fun. I think you can't rely on aero in this car at all, obviously because it has very little, if none. It does have that wing in the back, and you can go up. I think it's five clicks on the arrow. Um, but it moves around a lot. And here's a double overtake right here. And this is for BMWs. Everybody likes the white livery for some reason. Here, I'm gonna try hang on the outside here, and it's still kind of there. And then I cut back underneath right here as he gets the poor run out of that, or doesn't stay on the floor. I don't know what happened there. So now we're up the inside. I'm going to give him lots of room, get on the curb a little bit, and this car can thankfully handle it. And then right here, I thought this was interesting. Um, Not normally a place you want to stay there and overtake, so I was hoping he'd back off, but giving him room in case he didn't, and that's exactly what happened. And he just cuts the corner and then moves ahead actually. So I thought that was interesting, kind of part of the race too. Scary going into it because I didn't know what the other driver was doing, and then look, he's gained a sizable gap now just off of that one corner, and then he cuts a little bit there again, gets it wrong. So we're right back on him again. I actually had to lift a little bit there, I think, because normally I do that flat out in GT3 and in this car. I think in GT4 as well, if I remember correctly. So we're sizing him up for a move. This is for I'm in 18th now. This is 17th position. Get a great run off of this, and watch how close this is. Ooh, gosh! If he would have stayed straight just a little longer, I would definitely ran into the back. We're gonna see if we can size him up into this corner, break a little bit later, and still the apex. We give each other lots of space. We have a little bump together, but nothing major. I noticed he went off a little bit there, but I didn't even register the bump. It didn't even give me any information that we had touched. But seeing a replay, you can see we touched just a tiny bit. So now we're up in the 17th place here, and we've got a fairly big gap to the 16th place. So we're moving up the order, back up the order again. Getting used to the car still again, but I think much better at this stage. I'd already figured out kind of where I can put flat out, and you can tell the inputs on the right there. What's going on, what gear I'm selecting, all that stuff. So I think I'd kind of already figured it out, a lot of stuff. And then now it's just a matter of sticking my head down and moving forward. I really like this paint job on this car. On this one, this is the Orsi colors. Obviously, that green and the blue, and we've got a little bit of black in it too. As you can see, actually, the driver behind Spitz is actually looking at Cam Licky. If I say that right, Cam Lick. Looking at him, kind of sizing him up, putting his stuff in the mirrors, and that cost him a little bit of time, I think. But we'll see what happens with those guys as we catch. You can see we've dropped down already, more than half a second to 16th already. Oh, I'm sorry, that was Circus and Smith. I'm sorry, I'm looking ahead. Number 5, Circus or number 9, Smith was looking at Circus and getting him back. So let's go to some more cinematic cameras here for you guys, so that way you guys can see here. Let's go to a regular. There you go. Cine- Cinematic view as we come into the last, section here. Look how shiny the paint is on this car. I love this. This is the chrome, obviously the chrome on it, but the chrome green and chrome light blue. So I think looks great together. That's why we picked it for ORC color. But this BMW is super fun to drive, so I think it's probably one of the funnest classes. I think it'll be all the new classes. By the way, the BMW, yes, this one here, the new Porsche Cup car, and the Lamborghini. Um, I think they call it a Cup car, but the spec Lamborghini, that's called that. So these are going to be really cool classes because you obviously know that there's some tuning, sure, that people can do to make the car more drivable, but gearing and everything like that, and the power obviously is going to be exactly the same. So it's literally driver on driver stuff. As you see, we're catching 16th place, pretty good now. Um, but that's why I like these spec classes like this. Oh, sorry, that was a back marker. Actually, that's why we caught him so fast. That's the back marker number. I think he was 24th at the time. He's not on the screen, but getting him, he's getting out of the way for us, which is awesome. So thank you so much to that driver. Um, so yeah, now we're gonna chase down. Oh, two guys parked up on the side there, looked at it come together, and luckily they held their brakes and were staying there, which so often you see. And actually, going back to my thing where somebody spun me around, um, I should have held my brakes a little bit more for the guy. But and on that corner, since I was on the inside and on the middle, I thought he'd go to the outside like a normal. He almost cut underneath me, kind of trying to guess what I was doing. I think. Um, so, because I always try to, if you try to regain the track like that, you're facing the wrong way. It's always a dicey situation. So often, sometimes you got to hold your brakes and wait for everybody to go by, or you can try to pick the lesser of two evils, and try to spin to the middle or the inside or something like that on the outside of a corner. That way, you know that they're going to take the apex to the outside, and then you're out of the way anyways. Which is thankfully what happened to me earlier. So you can see the lap times there: 1:45 4. Um, the best is registered 1:46.0 because it was clean, so I must have dirtied that 1:45.4. Now we're up to 15th place, and now we're going to track down still number 17. It looks like, and 14th position now. So we moved up a couple spots for free, courtesy of those two BMWs that had crashed and were off on the side. Always good to see that. For me, anyways, not for them. For me, it's great. Uh, two positions I don't have to fight for, and slow myself down and hopefully get. So we started 25th. We got up to like 14th, I think, and oh, there's somebody in the background. Got up to 14th, got punted a little bit, turned around 21st, and now we're back up to 15th again. So it's a seesaw race. Um, yeah, this is. I love this. I love the way this looks at this track too. Everything just looks so crisp and so clean, especially after that rain. So now you see there's no rain at all. So had rained, and then we had our race. So it was drying line. Now with the tires, actually, that's what I'm going to mention. The tires, I had to guess. I had no prep time at all with these conditions. I want to say it was like 31 degrees Celsius. Um, and I had to guess, completely guess. So I kind of overinflated them. So I'm actually driving at 29 pounds, 29 psi. I don't know what that is in bar. Y'all forgive me. But 29 psi and 20 like 28, 28, 28.5. So I was somewhat close, but the tires were overheated a little bit. So I was actually really surprised that the car handled so well, with the tires being totally overheated like that. Um, so kind of a cool thing to have note that if you do overinflate them, it's not terrible. The car was still drivable. I felt like there was still a lot of grip. Um, I think it was the left front, because that's the tire that gets most of the punishment here. Was a little bit warm, temperature wise, but it had only gone up to, I think, high 26s if I remember correctly. So it was the right side tires for some reason that were a lot higher. And I obviously offset them a little bit, because of the circuit layout. Um, but they were definitely hot, as you see go side by side around this corner. Let's see if we can sweep around the outside, get the inside of this. Now this was a little bit clumsy, I think, if I remember correctly. Yeah, both of us come together, and then we spin, trying to take that too. Again, I thought I was on the inside. I thought he'd give way to that one, but he didn't. but he did not. We came together a little bit. He got the win on that one. But door to door, side to side racing, that's to me good touring car, good action. Tell me what you guys think. I mean, we both lost a lot of time and lost position. He got spun around, but we hit wheel to wheel or door to door. So uh, that's a hard one to hang on the outside. I think with that one, I think it probably could have been if he didn't try for the first apex, maybe like the other guy had done before when he kind of just straight lined it, straight lined the chicane on the sausage chicane, not that one, the sausage one previous. So I feel like maybe if he opened up the steering wheel, we would not have contact because I was trying to give him as much room as I could and stay to the right. Um, so I don't know. You guys can watch it back and see what you guys think as far as that. And let me know what you guys think. If I was in the wrong and I should have given that position back and just waited for him, definitely let me know. All right, so sit rep, we're 14th. I think now I think it's updated. Yeah, so we got still the same driver in front of us, number 17. We're still trying to chase that guy down. We've been trying to chase him down pretty much all race, it feels like. And he's done well to stay ahead. So let's see. Let's see where we're getting to. Let's see how many. We're 16 minutes as of recording. So about that. So yeah, the race is only I think 20 something minutes long. So that'll be good. So we're more than halfway, obviously, done with this race. Still trying to figure out fuel on this car too. So you can see I overfueled it. I think a lot. 2.1. And again, since I didn't have any reference laps, I had no idea about how much fuel we'd use, if that number is accurate or not. Haven't not done any laps. So we'll see you next time when the timer comes up, when our lap time comes up, see if we're improving. Getting really close to number 17 now. He somewhat semi defends and then comes over for that, which is fine. Let's see if we can get off the corner. We seem to be better here than most drivers. Looks like he's okay on that corner though. A lot of drivers pinch that a little bit short, don't use that runoff area, and they don't get on the gas soon. And I noticed on this BMW, you could get on the gas like really, really quickly, really early. Um, a little bounce right there from the car, that sausage. Um, but the car can take a lot of curves too. I think I did a race at Nürburgring GP too, but some of the curves there are taller. Like these are a lot flatter, so some of the curves are taller and I guess steeper. So you could not use a lot of the curbs there with the car, and you would just go for a ride. Um, so we got a great battle behind us too, actually, with those two guys going at it, Rogue and San Pedro. Um, that's cool. We can see that too at the same time. I'm still trying to put pressure on number 17. We'll see if he gives way or what happens, how it gets past him. And actually, that's right. I remember he just lets me go. I don't know why. I mean, I think at that point I was faster, but only marginally, only by a tiny bit. I felt like he could have fought that. The two drivers behind are really dicey. Now they're caught up to him too, so I don't know why he let me go. Um, I mean, I'm fine with it, but still, at the end of the day, too, one of the things I'd rather have is a really good fight too, and a really good battle. So I'm happy to battle people too. All right, so we're coming down here. What do you got? Oh, we're at 10 laps already. Dang, that went by quick. So 10 laps in, we're back up to now 13th place. Again, after starting way in the back. I can't remember how many drivers were in this. I think it was 30 something drivers in this. So it was really fun for a public lobby too, which is amazing. So TCX, that's the category. I'm trying to remember what the category was. So this is TCX. So because they have the BMW, I mean, there's going to be other cars they're going to add to TCX, right? I mean, they have to. There's a bunch of TCX cars in SRO America, right? Or World Challenge America. So there's going to be a lot. Look at my fellow green BMW up there, slightly different livery, but same kind of greens. Now I'm doing 44 threes. As you can see, I'm finding the pace in this car and in this BMW and trying to figure it out. Now the times are coming down. I mean, 2 seconds from the start of the race till now. Oh, he's got bright orange rims too on that Beamer in front. Let's see if we can get him. We'll chase him down and see where we can get up to. You can see Mr. Githow is now in 8th place. So he's done well to speed up. I noticed. He was doing 143s, like mid 143s or something like that. I think. So he was hauling the mail after this, after our little coming together. Because I think yeah, we were 14th and 15th at that point. Looks like I gained another spot just then somehow. Maybe somebody's in the pits. I don't know. And it just cycled. and we're right on the back of the number 42 now, Jilt, dot Jilt. So we're gonna see if we can pressure him into a mistake and see if we can get past him or just pass him up the inside on one of the corners. We'll see. He's got some damage on that car, so he's suffering a little bit. I think I have a little bit from that hit, but it was only like 3 seconds or something like that. It wasn't anything major. You can see I sweep to the inside here, give him lots of space, and we're going to see him. We can get him done underneath his hairpin. We do. He's going to retaliate for the over under a tiny bit, but he can't just can't get the drive out of there. So we're up another position now into 11th place. Um, how much more time we got left here? We got one more lap. Okay, so we can hang with this and finish this out. So now we're past the green BMW of Dot Jilt, and now we've got I think we've got significant time barrier to number 10. So I'm not sure it's going to happen. Um, as far as I wait for the timing to update and see what the gap is. Yeah, so the gap is 12.9 seconds. With the laps winding down, I think it's the last lap, right? Is that what it showed? So I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah, we've got lap 13 this one, and then we've got the cool down or whatever. So anyway, this was a great race. I highly recommend jumping in the BMW M4 CS and giving it a go. My recommendations personally, and what I did is to get it on power a little quicker. I lowered the spring rate to the very lowest in the rear of the car. Uh, I I don't think you can add. I don't think you can mess with. I mean, there's only very slight things you can mess with in its roll bar. So I upped it to two in the front, and I kept it at I think one in the rear, zero in the rear, just to give it that more squat stance. I messed with the dampers, just not the dampers. I messed with the shocks a little bit and lowered them. The damping or the bump stop. I lowered it down to 30. I think it was 40 to start with. Sorry, I'm trying to remember everything offhand. Um, and that was pretty much it. Lowered the fuel. I still overfueled a little bit. You can see I have 11 liters left, and this is the end of the race. So I probably could have gone a little faster, and I was getting in the high 43s. I think at some point, if I remember correctly, or almost right there. I think it did 44.0. So it was definitely possible. But anyway, that's the BMW M4 CS at Zolder. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please join again. To check out the channel for any updates or any racing leagues, and get out there and try this car yourself. I think you guys will really love it. But anyway, thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you on track.